Hi everyone. Good evening. I hope you are all doing great. And if you can hear me, just say yes in the chat window. Hello, all. Okay. So you can hear me, then say yes in the chat window. I'm really all right. Okay. Everything is cool. Perfect. So I really want to talk about the what I say the examination that we had and the way you guys responded or used simply. So it's like that couple of people trying to do such kind of dummy things. So it's really not the good one, right? So let me tell you something. So actually, I had written a script that was trying to check your answers, but exactly how many of you have tried and few people are trying to make a fun of, I mean, they're just writing things, so they're not implementing it on top of the instances, right? So I get a couple of answers. So what I found is I have just only checked few people. So few people I tried to check it because my script got failed because of the way you answered, right? So people are writing in a simply Excel or what kind of it was. I was really wondering. So what I did, so I started scrolling up your answers from the bottom, right here, and I think for a couple of people I have just okay. So let me I'll announce the rest of the answers today. I mean, by tonight, with tomorrow session. But let me tell you what exactly it is. Okay. So this is your Docker result examination for few of you. Okay. So the top comment, and you can just check here, or if it's not visible that much, let me just open it in my terminal. Okay. And Docker exam results. So it's like, see, I think it's so I've divided this in the couple of GitHub URL. Question one score, question two, three, and four, five. Okay, so all questions, per question it was 100 marks, and it was really disappointing for a couple of people. Only few things I have checked. Okay, so that is a step mark given. So if you say for Chandrasekhar 05, the GitHub username, question one is 30% score, 30 marks, sorry, out of 100. Question number two has only 100 marks, and total score is 130, right? So that was the till time. And there's a remarks from my side, okay? Need more and more improvement. And the second was, the username is this 20 marks out of 100, 100 here, 20 in question number 4, and 0 in this, so 140 marks. And the remark is very something. In some places just write the steps, not practically. So if you are in the category of this one, that you have written the steps only and you have not performed it practically on the AWS machine, so that means you're under that category who want to write all this. So let me just show you that uh, chats. Look, I have couple of process of checking. Likewise for Neha Soni, you got 10 marks in the question number one. That was very simple. Then 80 in the question number three, and total marks is 19. Need a lot of things to work it out. And then Agrawal G, You got 20, 20, 80, 30, 10. So almost the good thing about you is you have attempted all the questions. Now the same thing, in some places you are just writing the same, need to read the question and work out more. So it's a kind of suggestion from my end for Getika. You need to read the question again, okay, and practice it out. So IOC Shoni, so I'm really upfront in the doing kind of insults for everyone. IOC Shoni, you scored it very well, right? 70, this, but not found the container in some questions. That means you write the script, you wrote the steps, but when I check the container, maybe somebody deleted that, I don't know. But even I do not found the deletion process as well. So container was not found, and some fuzzy marks are there. That means you tried to just write a script about your questions. About Kshitiz, you got also good score. You attempted every single questions, and some questions are not performed. So that means you write the script, but that is not performed. Okay, so you got, as of now, Ayushi, you have 340 marks out of 500, and Kshitiz, and then this username, whatever it is, some question not performed here as well, and some answers not working. That means the way you design Docker image, I tried with them, and that is not working. So you write it well, Docker image is building, but containers are not getting that one. So you get 290 marks. Okay, so only these people. So by tomorrow session, I'll be outing the further results. Okay, but as of now the condition is not good. So either you are trying to uh, just do a couple of things. So one thing that I really want you to do in the next examination is, uh, please don't write just answer. Please don't just write answer. Okay, without performing. It's not about, you're not going to get some kind of swag. Okay, so this exam is all about the reality check. Reality check. Maybe other people might have updated couple of things, but by tomorrow you'll be getting all the answers. But seriously, it's not the right way to do the same. Okay, reality check about how you are taking this Docker and how much you understand. Okay, because in 2 or 3 days max, Docker is going to wrap it up. Then we'll talk about Jenkins, Git, Kubernetes. So we'll be using that very much. Okay, so now don't write just right answer. Okay, and try to be honest. So there are a couple of places where you guys are just not being honest over there. Okay, anyway, so let's talk about today agenda. Let me start my labs first, and here I'll be just so okay, that was summer 2020. So I'm starting this lab. Okay, and then I'm just exposing that variable in my terminal to connect. Okay, or what I'm doing, I'm just connecting it here. Maybe Oracle. Yes, so I'm here now, and I can say a couple of Docker images. Okay, it's not running. Fine. All right, no worries. So today topic is Docker Compose. Okay, this is the most important topic for developers. So if you are a developer, it's very amazing and important topic for you. And what exactly Docker Compose is all about? Okay, so let me help you with the problem. So problem with Docker engine and containers is, so let's say if I have this single Docker engine running. Okay, I have this single Docker engine running, and there are so many people, so many developers who are connecting to Docker engine like this. Okay, by TCP way or whatever way. So because we have a single Docker engine, so if every developer is downloading images and creating container, so once you download the images, and if one developer is doing a kind of Docker images here, so now because I'm having my own user EC2 user, and I never pulled any image, but once I do that, I'll be able to see all the images. See, I did not created any of them. And if I try to check all the containers, so some containers are running. And if I try to check all the stopped containers, see, so many containers are. So that means I was a developer and I tried to connect with the Docker engine. So I'm able to view and access those containers that even does not created by me. So in a management point of view, in a management point of view, there is a lot of problem. Okay, see, because once Docker engine will be running and I have 10,000 containers, so as a normal developer, if I do Docker ps and all containers are running, so I'll be able to list all the container. Now out of 10,000 container, it's really impossible to figure out which one is mine, right? Let's figure out which one is mine container. Okay, which one I created. Even I have created the names. If I have created 10 containers, so filtering 10 containers from the list of 10,000, and what are the images, what is a network, what is a volume. So I just want to list and view my container data, either network or volume or images or containers. I really don't want to list all the container either running or not running, and I really don't want to list all the images likewise. See, okay, so if there is a common Docker engine and we have couple of user, if we do Docker ps, Docker images, Docker volume, network, so I'll be able to list everything, right? What I want some tool that can just give me an isolated space where I can simply view and list and delete and create my containers. Only container that is related to me, only Docker image that is related to my application, nothing more than that. So this is a problem number one. Are you understanding my point? If yes, then type uh, yes in the chat window. Yes, Mishra, you don't have to explain, it's all fine, right? So if you are getting what I'm trying to say, this problem statement, just say yes in the chat window. Okay, Is only one yes answer? Okay, so you are getting the first problem. Okay, the first problem you all are getting. Alright, so I'm getting few yes messages from very few people, but it's all right. Okay, now the second problem is by everyone is so the second problem is unable to remember commands, unable to remember Docker commands, right? So if you really understand, so we have learned a lot of commands. We have learned Docker run, we know Docker ps, we know Docker exec, we know Docker start, Docker stop, Docker kill, Docker build, and so many, right? Remembering these command is not a problem, but we have to remember it. So what if we can replace all these commands by a single process, by a single command in general, not a single, but almost a single command. Okay, and now if someone else want to create a container, let's say you design a Docker image and you push that Docker image to Docker Hub, and if someone want to create container, what they have to do, they have to understand the syntax of Docker run, itd hyphen v p and everything. So what we can do, we can combine in a single command, or I can say we can write everything in a file, and if you just double click that file or you run that file, everything whatever it is required to run your application will be working fine. So that means everything that is required, it will be working fine automatically. You don't have to remember these big commands, run, ps, create, stop, kill, and so many things. You don't have to do that at all. So we will be writing everything in a file like a script, so that every single thing will be written in a file, and we can share that file with anyone, and they can just double click and run it. Now everything that you just ran manually will be automatically performed. So that means we are looking for replacement all commands in one file, and just run that file. It will perform everything, almost everything. Okay, so these two approaches, I mean these two solutions, the first and the second, is offered by Docker Compose, right? So let's say if I'm a developer and of web application, I have two containers for my web server. I have another container for my database, and I have other container for my video streaming, right? So Docker Compose is a tool that can handle all related containers for you. So you can directly connect to this Docker Compose, and because your web application has this minimum infrastructure, two container for web server, one container for database, one container for video streaming, right? So if you try to look at the Docker Compose logo, so Docker Compose is a kind of octopus, where this will be individually managing your container. So it can handle MongoDB, Redis, Node, and couple of things. So that means this is a tool that can handle or manage your interrelated containers for you. So let's say if you are a developer, so you can connect to Docker Compose. Please only list those container, manage those container. So every developer can connect to its own Docker Compose, right? And they can just list and view only that part of file. Okay. So if you are understanding, that means whatever container related to myself or my application, it will be only showing and managing those containers for me. Okay. So if you are understanding the use of compose, even a very small level, just type yes or understood in the chat window that yes, you are getting it. At least very few understanding of Docker Compose, right? So if you are understanding few things about this compose, just type yes or understood or get it in the chat window. Then we can start practically. Okay. So I really want to just bound my container that is only related to my applications, not more than that. Okay. So all right, let's switch back to compose now. So when I say I'm gonna write every single command and operation in a file, so that means I can say docker compose is a file based approach, is a file based approach, like quite similar to docker file. Okay. And the file we can write in any of the two programming language, either yet another markup language or JavaScript object notation, right? So you can use any of the programming language by choice. This is yet another markup language, and this is JavaScript object notation, right? So I'll be using both, but preferable choice by everyone is YAML. Okay, so we'll be using yet another markup language. But first of all, we have to install Docker Compose first. Then we can use this file. Okay, so what I have to do now, let's install Docker Compose first. Do not forget Docker Compose is also going to connect with Docker Engine. So your Docker Engine must be running. Okay. Now, if you have installed Docker Desktop, you can cross check it. Docker Desktop, I think, already has a prerequisite, a kind of pre-installed Docker Compose. If you have used Docker Desktop as a software to install Docker, so I think Docker Compose is already installed. This is for people who has used Docker Desktop to install Docker. Then for them, Compose will be already there. And how you can cross check it, by using docker compose. So if you write docker compose and if you get some output not like this, so that means docker compose is installed. But if you're not getting like this, so you have to install docker compose. So let me do that, the installation process. So I'm just going here, typing docker compose install. I'll be following the official docs.docker.com website and click here. Then I'll be going here, and there is a prerequisite. You can run compose Mac and Windows and Linux and 64-bit versions. So I'll go here and I'll choose my Mac or Windows Server or Linux. Okay, and then this is the very simple script. So I'll be using this script to download compose. Right, I'm not installing here under USR local, so under USR bin docker compose. It's just a script file. Now I'll be just giving uh, okay, so it got installed. Now if I type docker compose -v, yes, so my docker compose is pretty up. Okay, so it's a very simple one. Just download this script, make it executable, and that's it. If you already have docker desktop, that is already there, you can just cross check it, but as of now we are using this docker to install it. Okay, let's start working. All right, so I'm going to use yet another markup language to write compose file. Oh no, client side rhythm. So docker compose is a tool. We need to install it on client side, not in the docker engine, because I'm using it here. So if I want to use it, so I can simply install in my client machine. Okay, I'm doing sh. So in my even local system, in my local machine, docker -compose is already there. See, we have this docker compose. Okay, so we need everything as a client in a client side. All right, so anyway, now how we build or create containers using compose. So time for create compose file. Okay, so because it's a file based approach, so docker compose file is divided into three different versions. So we have version 1, we have version 2, and we have version 3. So you are very late for docker compose because version 1 got expired now. So we will be working in version 2 and version 3 of the file. So here, whatever file we are going to write in any of the language, like yet another markup language or JavaScript object notation, it will be really cool. Okay, so we will be using version 2 and version 3. Let me give you some idea what exactly the difference between versions, like a version 1 and version 2, or maybe in version 3 as well. So if I'll just tell you, if you are using docker compose file version 1, so whatever container you will be deploying, it will be automatically connected to this bridge, that is docker 0. So in the version 1, although it got expired, but I'm just explaining it, if you are deploying any of the container, so it will be by default going into the default bridge. Once the container will go in default bridge, so all other container can communicate to your container because of the same bridge. Okay, so that dependency got removed in version 2. So every time you create a compose file, it will automatically create new docker network, right? And the same functionality here as well. Okay, So compose version 2 or compose version 3, in both places we have new network creation. Now, what exactly is the difference between version 2 and version 3, that we'll see in near future. Okay, but as of now I really cannot explain that because you don't know about some advanced topic in Docker. Anyway, but it's quite enough for you as of now, the version difference between version 2 and 3. All right. So I'm gonna start with Docker Compose version 2. Okay. So what is the requirement or prerequisite? So requirement. So first is write empty folder. You have to create empty directory, right, with unique name. Unique name. So every directory must be unique if you are using same Docker engine. Okay. So directory will be empty and unique. So let's see if I'm gonna do that. So I'll be creating Ashutoshh app 1. So make sure you're creating a unique folder. Once you use, I'm going here. So this is my empty and unique name. So if you're using common Docker engine, please do not give same name. It's a recommendation. Otherwise there is a conflict. And the reason behind that, because whatever name you are giving, Compose will create a network by the same name. Okay. Now, second is file name must be either docker hyphen compose dot yaml or dot yml. So the file that you are going to create or same as dot json. Docker hyphen compose either yml or yml or json. So where you want to write about your containers. So the second thing I'm creating is I'm creating a file docker hyphen compose dot yml. The file name must be same. Okay, that is, so it's like a Docker file, we have to use that. And let me open that file. It's an empty one. Okay, now what is the syntax or the fields under the file? So when you use Docker compose, okay, now compose file has three sections. So compose file has three sections, and that is something, uh, if I'll check that, the first is, that is version. So first field is all about version. Okay, everything you have to write in a key value pair. Key value pair. So there's a version, and the second line is services. Third line is network, and the fourth one is volumes. These two lines are optional by default. You don't have to mention it. Okay. Now about version, you have to write either 2.x or 3.x, whatever compose file version you want to use. And under services, you have to write about your container information. Container info. Okay. There is one more big thing as an important note point. By using compose, you can create multiple container in one shot. Multiple containers. Okay, because you know that if we will be using uh, docker run command, only one container will be created, not more than that. Okay, so if you use this command, only one container will be created. All right, so once only one container will be created, and if we need multiple containers, so that means definitely we are looking for multi-container application. Okay, let's write the docker compose file for the first time. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm using this. So the first keyword is version colon. Okay, version and colon. By putting a single space, make sure you're not giving more than one space. So here only one space, and in the double or single quotes you have to write the version. So let's say I'm writing 2.5. So there are few specific version of compose. You can use 2.5, 2.2, 2.3 or 3.7. Okay, or you can directly start with 3.5. Let's say 3.5. Okay, so you can check the version of compose file in the documentation. What are the allowed version? Docker compose file versions. Okay, so you can just check it from there. See, so 3.8 is just released in 19 point this engine. Until 3.7 was the latest, and now these are the versions. So in 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in 2, see, we have only 2.4, 2.3, 2.2, likewise 1.0 that got expired. But anyway, so if you're using 2, the 2.4 is max, or you're using 3, then 3.8 is the max. Okay, so you can just check here. You don't have to remember the version of docker file compose file. Okay, so I'm using 3.5. So this is my first line that is done, version. Okay, now coming down here, I'm writing services and colon. Okay, I'm just hitting enter. It is taking tab actually, so you can just come down and give a single space, right? If it is not taking automatically in your Vim editor, like for me, so what you can do, there is a variable in terminal, set shift width is equals to 1. Once you use that variable, set shift width is equals to 1, if you're writing in Vim, so once you insert and press, see, it is taking one single space. So if you're giving one space or one tab, make it persistent, right? So consistently you have to do that. Now here what I have to write, the name of my application, let's say my or Ashutoshh app 11. This is just an information about application, because contain compose can handle multiple application. So this is my name of application. Okay, now under the application I have to come and write information about compose. So let's say I'm writing like, what is the image name I'm gonna use? So let's say I'm gonna use alpine image. What is the name of container? So container underscore name is a keyword. Let's say Ashutoshh container 1 okay. And what is the command I want to give? So command I want to give ping fb.com. So actually this is a your name of service. Likewise, if I want to create another container, so what I have to do, I have to just copy all these lines, and I can create another. See, so this time I'm not doing that as of now, but I can write Ashutoshh application 2 and Ashutoshh container 22 and then google.com. So you can keep writing this application name under the symmetry of services. So under services, we have application name, and under application name, we have information about container. Okay. Although I'm just writing only one container as of now. So this is my, service name, image name, and definitely container name, and finally default command, or I can say simply parent process, right? This is my first very simple, or I can say most simplest compose file. Let me close that. I hope everything is good. Okay, so I can show you this file again. Services, this, and this. All right. Now, if I, and the replacement is this compose file is a very much replacement of this command. See, if you can relate docker run it hyphen hyphen name container 11, then alpine, then ping fb.com. So here name option replaced by container underscore name, and the last argument is introduced by command, and this image is a keyword image. So either you are writing in this way, or the better way is to write in a file, because you know what, you cannot share this history with your customer, but you can write this command in a very syntax way. Okay, and now this, now see how do I run that file. So definitely you don't have to remember that syntax, because we have to remember docker run itt hyphen hyphen name blah 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 blah. I know maybe for a couple of people this command will be very simple for now, because we have done around more than 10 classes till now. But remember that first day when you have couple of problem to remember these commands, and you were thinking about, oh my god, what is this? So what is this ITD? What is this name? What is this one? So you have just you had that past where you were wondering about the commands, but now you are very much comfortable. That's a different story. Okay, so right now I will be writing the same thing in this manner. How do I run it? So I'll do docker compose up. That's it. So to run that file, compose file, you just have to do docker compose up. Once you do up, trust me, see what got happened. A network got Ashutoshh app1 with the folder name underscore default got created, and the container got created, and it is attached to that network, the one that got created. And I'm having the output in my screen. If I use Control C one time, see, it is stopping the container. If I use Control C one more time, it is killing container. So now the container is in killing state. So because we stopped that, and if I want to do up again, I can put it in background hyphen D, and if I want to see docker compose ps, see the beautiful thing is I'm only able to view that container that is created by my compose file, not by anybody else. So even if so many containers are running in this one and I'm using compose is referring my file, it will only show. Even if I do docker compose images, wow, only alpine image and the container name and the id. Okay, so that means echo, oh my god, I just missed it. Okay, still there is a echo. I don't know, maybe. Just reply here. Okay, because I was just ignored the messages. Anyway, but it's now fine. Can't help it. Okay, great. So this is very a cool idea of a compose, because you know what, we are just using in the same way. So docker compose, docker hyphen compose ps, it's running. If I want to stop container, I don't have to worry about what was the name, just do stop, just do stop. It will stop container automatically, right? So it will take that compose file reference, and if you want to remove it, yes, you can remove it, right? So you don't have to type the name of your container xyz and so and so. Okay, now, because uh, if I want to remove everything that was created by me or my compose file, I'll use docker compose down. Okay, now see, so if I have this, I don't have any single thing as of now, no, and images, no. So if I use docker compose up hyphen d, yes, network got created, container got created. And now using ps, okay, if I'll do down, so what is going to happen? See, container got stopped, it will be stopped, and container got removed, network got removed. So there are two major commands: up for making everything up, and down for making everything down, and delete. See, down is just stopping the container, removing the container, and removing the network as well. All right. Now let me change something in my Docker Compose file. So I'm changing, this all four lines here, writing the application two and two, and here I'm just writing google.com. Now I have two applications defined, one and two. And if I do docker compose up hyphen d, see, one container, sorry, one network, two containers in the same network, so they got attached automatically to this. And docker compose ps, yes, so we can see here ping and this. Even if you stop the container or you kill the container, once you kill it, you do docker ps, it will be there. You don't have to use ps hyphen a, but the state become exit from up to, I mean from up to exit. Okay, and if you want to clean up, just do down. So up and down, it's the very, so see, the overall thing is we have replaced every single command with up and down. It will make container up, it will make container down. So these two commands are very popular in the world of compose, and that was the first demo or sample file. Okay, the magical fact is uh see, you don't have to know how to create a network, because this compose file is automatically creating network and automatically attaching that. So you know what, once you are doing docker compose up, so what exactly is happening? See, once you're doing docker compose up, so they are creating a network let's say net 1, they're creating container 1, container 2, and they're attaching to these networks that you remember by hyphen hyphen network option, and then assigning to IP address, and the container is up and running. Okay, so Docker Compose up and everything. So how the kill is different from stop rhythm? I believe we already have session on the same. So stop and kill. So stop is graceful stop. So we are gracefully stopping that parent process, and kill is forcefully. You wanna see a demo for the same. So if I have Docker Compose PS, these two are running. If I'll do stop, it will take time to stop the container. See, they're saying stopping it. Docker Compose stop. So we are stopping the container. Okay, see. Now let me just do start it again. So the container got started, and I can see here by PS. Okay, but if I do kill this time, see, killed, not taking any much time. Here stopping was taking time, but kill is kill, and I can start it again. Right, so once I start, parent process got start. Okay, so it's quite interesting and very file based approach. So what you just have to do, just give this file to anybody, and they just have to do Docker Compose up. That's it. Once they do Docker Compose up, everything will be fine. For your kind information, the question paper that you appear, that was running in a container, kind of container like this, where that was there. Okay, so just say yes or no. I mean, if you are understanding and liking the compose, say yes, and if you don't like, say no. Right, so I'm waiting for your response. At least you are getting the point or understanding it. Okay, so if you are understanding it all and everything is fine, just say yes in the chat window. So 4 answers. Yes, yes, yes. Rest of other people are sleeping. Okay, very good. Compose is beautiful. Yes, Tendulkar. Compose is beautiful. Great. Uh, uh, it will stop it first. Piyush. It will not kill by default. So by default, preferable choice is to stop the container. Okay, fine. Now let's do some more fun in the container world. By default, if you have not given a compose file, now see, here is a compose file. That's why I am able to run docker compose ps or whatever it is from this location. So this compose is very much dependent on the compose file. So let's say if I change my location to somewhere else, and from here I try to do docker compose ps, so you cannot do that, because see, it is saying couldn't find a suitable configuration or directory. Supported file names are only these and these. So you just have to be there from where your compose file is here, right? If in this location, if I can do docker ps compose ps, sorry, see, and if, let me down it, that is down. If we create compose file for two containers, but we want to run only one container, what to do. So Lavina, this approach is not for compose. If you don't want to do that, you want to do up only one, right? So that means in general you don't have to write in this way, right? But in the earlier days it was supporting like Docker compose, let's say up. These days it's not working because they have removed that dependency probably. But you can, okay, sorry, just hyphen d, oh sorry, compose up hyphen d. Okay, see, so if I do docker compose ps now, only one service got up. So I thought it was closed, but it's still working. So you have to write the service name to make it up. Okay, so Lavina, I think you got it. Just, I mean, you can comment it back in the chat window. I hope you got your answer. Okay, JSON file, Mohit. I'll take one example, one demo example, how we can create JSON file. Okay, not a problem. So, okay, let me just do docker compose down. Okay, so because the entire game is all about, container management. So if I'll use that, so if I change the file name from compose to something else, let's say ashutosh.yml, now your compose is not going to work. So it is saying the supported file names are these only. So what you have to do, first of all, you have to supply file name before any operation. Compose hyphen f file name, and that's it. So if you do, or like when you want to just do ps like this, you want to kill like this, okay, you want to down, so every operation must be followed by compose. Okay, great. So it's very normal. All right, so let me go back and show you another demo. So this time I'm creating Ashutosh app 2, and in the Ashutosh app 2, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create docker-compose.yaml file. Then in the version, I'm writing 3.8, that is the most recent version. And in the services section, I'm writing it's like, let me just make it quick. So set shift width is equals to 1. And here I'm coming like Ashu web app 1. Okay, image name I'm gonna take it like, so I believe I'm taking that image name that we have used in the exam. So that was, I believe, CKD version 2. Yes, that was version 2. AD version 2, and here slash. Now if you don't want to define a container name, you can just ignore it. Okay, now definitely you don't have to write command, but I want to expose port number, so I can use ports and then some port number, let's say 99, or maybe so 1 2 3 4 5 colon 80. Now, why I'm writing this under hyphen? So that thing we will be discussing tomorrow, right? How we're going to use that. But as of now, this is my Docker image, container, and ports. So I'll be using this Docker hyphen compose up hyphen D. So it will be creating network, container, and PS. Okay, now 11111. So I'll be using this 11111. Now, some of you in the examination, you have accessed this page. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Some of you are writing 7 times Docker. Some of you writing 6 times. Some of you writing 0 time. That was a question. How many number of times Docker is written in the output? Okay, and you have to take that output, store in a file, and comment it on GitHub. But nobody did that as of now. So compose ps. Okay, let me do down here. Okay, all set. So my compose is down now. All right, so this is very few things about Docker Compose. We have a lot of things to discuss and learn in Docker Compose, but I'm running out of time. So as of now, if it is all comfortable, all good for everyone, just say yes, you're getting it. Okay, yes, options are same in Docker 2 and 3, except very few. All right, so if you're getting it, I mean, it's all fine, right, till now, that compose. All right, let me just upload these files in my GitHub repo. I think I have this GitHub repo for you. Summer 2020 Docker test, is it? Or my summer py app? Which one is this one? No, this is a task. Then COVID-19 summer 2020. I don't know which Docker, I mean, which summer 2020 demo. I don't know, maybe. Forget it. Right. I'll make another one. Okay, wonderful. So this is your first day of compose. So I have a lot of things to do, right? A couple of things to do. So it's done for today, right? Because I have to prepare for my examination. Done for today. If you have some question, please do ask me. Rest. Thank you so much and bye bye. Okay. So if you have some question to ask, you can ask. Rest. We can we make us, yeah, Manish. So we can do that. So that whatever it is left, that will be covering in tomorrow's session, right? Thank you so much, Rhythm. We can make custom network as well. Not a problem. If we are not doing, then it is. Okay. So All set. And thank you so much, guys. See you tomorrow. I'm ending this session. Thank you, and have a great day. Enjoy.